Hey, Sun here. Yeah, I haven't published in over 6 months, but I'm back, at least I think. I had a kid a year ago, and wow, what a change of pace. Having a kid is just completely wild. To all of you who are parents, huge respect. In this episode, I want to share a few status updates on Superback. There are new features that I am super pumped about and pretty excited to hear your thoughts on. But before I go further in this, I will be in Prague for Freedom Tech Summit and BTC Prague next week. If you're there, let me know. We could connect. And yeah, let's jump into Superbacked. So first things first, new website, a lot more documentation. That was super necessary. Sorry for taking so much time to do this. There's now a whole page dedicated to Superbacked OS. A custom version of Ubuntu that is amnesic by design, that has really strict firewall rules, but supports printing for AirPrint compatible printers, and which is kind of mission critical for Superbacked. If you don't know what Superbacked is, actually, Superbacked is an app that is used to create really sophisticated backups and recovery schemes that are very useful for sensitive data and succession planning. Essentially, the app allows the user on macOS or Linux to create paper backups. The data is encrypted using state-of-the-art ciphers and key derivation into encrypted QR codes that we call blocks. But you can also create what we call block sets, which require 2 of 3 or 3 of 4, 4 of 7 blocks to recover, plus a passphrase. Now, when you create a backup in Superbacked, you can drag and drop files or folders of any size onto the window, and it will then generate key material that it will embed within the backup and encrypt with your credentials. And this will be used to derive a ES256, so a 256-bit key that is used to encrypt the data within the archive. That means that the encryption key for the archive is actually 256-bit and uses a quantum resistant cipher. And that's super wild. This allows one to put, for instance, your credentials, including 2FA, to your Google account, your Proton account, AWS, and then you can store the archive there. That means that in the context of recovery, all you really need to hand out to different custodians are blocks. And when it's time to recover, you can essentially let the user know, log into my Google Drive, for instance, or to my Proton Drive, and the archive will be there. During the recovery process, it asks the user essentially to drag and drop an archive with a deterministic file name. And once you do this, you can extract the archive where you want on the computer. You can also do this on Superbacked OS, which is pretty cool. Now, another feature that I had been craving for some time is just a way to encrypt files using good ciphers, great key derivation, I like Argon 2, in a way that just has amazing user experience. I wanted to just drag and drop files onto the Superbacked window, choose a passphrase, and boom. I can then share the passphrase out of bound with someone. So for instance, I can send that over Signal, but put a really very large archive on a cloud provider, and then the user can, or that person can essentially download that, use that passphrase and the app on their computer, and boom. Now, all of this is great. It's amazing for our agency, for our ability to pass on sensitive data to our loved ones. But something that people have been sharing over and over is, well, my kid or my spouse is not a nerd like I am, and they just don't get how to recover this stuff. And I feel like if ever something was to happen to me, even if I am using Superbacked, I don't know if they'll make it. So I've had this idea in mind called Superbacked operators for years now. The idea is a Superbacked operator is a Superbacked certified attorney, notary, or wealth manager that understands Superbacked and can help their clients set up Superbacked without ever seeing the secrets, and can then custody one block of a block set. And that's how I initially thought about it. So essentially the attorney would have one of these in their safe. Now, what I quickly learned is not all attorneys or notaries or wealth managers have safes, and people are also worried about $5 wrench attacks if someone would know, for instance, that they are custodying a block that protects a $100 million holding. So I've been thinking about this and talking to attorneys for the past few years, and I am super pumped to announce that the app allows you to essentially scan a block as an institutional custodian that we call Superbacked operators, and it is then sealed with operator encryption key and then uploaded to Superbacked Cloud. But the really banger of a feature here is it allows the operator to choose from a few recovery schemes that really mitigate to different extents the $5 wrench attack. And then there's another layer called geofencing. You can configure the app during its initial deployment, allowing recovery only from a specific location. And that's something that is still kind of in beta right now, and I'm not sure it's going to be possible, but it's kind of working, which is sick. You can even use something that we're calling spatial location, which is altitude aware. So if you're in a skyscraper, recovery would be allowed from the 26th floor, for example, but not from the ground floor, or even worse, from some shopping mall underground, for instance. So it actually uses hardware into the iPhone and very specific GPS triangulation to calibrate and determine where you are based on ground level. That's super sick. So this app is really designed to help operators de-risk their role as institutional custodians and get to support clients. Finally, it's something that is so necessary for this generation where people like you and I want to have agency and digital sovereignty. So if you're an attorney, a notary, or a wealth manager, or if you know one that you think would be interested by this, please get in touch. I'll link to it in the description. On the Superbacked website, you can just go in the contact section and get in touch. We're looking for early adopters for this that want to help imagine that version of future that I really would love to see. So that's all I have for you today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.